Hey, and welcome to another Hiveon devlog. In today's one, I have quite a lot to show you with some changes. Yes, more changes. But more changes to this Nether network and how it's going to function from here on out. And also some of how Hiven's going to work. So yeah, let me first just start with the Nether network as well. It's right here, so it's going to be easy to explain. Okie dokie. So, you see, I use these chunk loaders here that use minecarts from Canopy. And this works great for short distances, but there seems to be a bit of an unexplainable issue. You see, for some odd reason, the chunks don't load fast enough for a single redstone line. That's even after modifying them so that the carts load a 7x7 chunk area instead of 5x5. It still just like stops after a point. After speaking with Forrest about this very briefly yesterday, they came to the conclusion that it could just be a limitation of Bedrock and its chunk loading thing. That it just like queues up wanting like chunks that want to be loaded. Because on the sim map display, it shows that when it fails, the last chunk loader's chunks load really odd. So yeah, it could be that. So what I'm going to have to do instead is some sort of feedback based thing. So sending a set signal down a redstone line, load all of the chunks needed for that, which means actually less chunk loaders, because I'll probably be reverting back to the 5x5 chunks just for that. But yeah, I severely need to test this, because there is hope for not needing to do that. Because if I have to load all those chunks and then send the signal, that is such a speed limitation, and it's really, really annoying. The hope I have for this is as we are working in 128 by 120, it's 128 from the middle, 257 by 257 areas, I really, 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 really hope that I can get something that is somewhat reliable that can do full speed within all of these areas, and then it has to slow down slightly at a transfer, which I'll get to that in a second. If not, yeah, that's really concerning. But let me go over the other change, which is actually a slightly exciting one. So, as you may know, obviously Hiveon works off illegal items. So, somewhere in here, it's been a while since I've looked at this. Here we go. So, we have end portals in here, which obviously you cannot do this in regular survival. Yeah, this just isn't possible. This uses glitches from many versions ago. So yeah, it's not even possible to do like at all recently. So I've changed strategies a bit to I'm going to send all of the items that just go straight into an end portal there into a cart instead, which will get sent to the respective portal after a call is finished. To a stronghold and do it that way, which also works for calling. Those don't work through end tiles anymore. We send the signal probably through the Nether just for that chunk loading reason to whatever the closest stronghold is, which I worked out to be about, like, on average, the closest stronghold to any given location is like 1,500 blocks, maybe 2,000, which in a system like this, like, yeah, that's not even really that bad. It's a slight delay in latency when starting a call, but it's worth it. I mean, either that or you build the farm just directly at the end portal and you have a group of them, which I really like that idea anyway. And as Hiveon, let's face it, it's mainly a me project. I can't picture anyone else even remotely doing any of this. I'm pretty fine with having to build farms that I want faster calling for at an end portal, because there's infinite of them in Bedrock Edition, so even if it's like you need one that's biome specific, you'll find one eventually. If not, you'll find one that has like the biome close by, and other than that, there's no real reason to just build a farm randomly somewhere. And even if you do, again, there's infinite end portals, so yeah. Anyway, on to showing the system working, because I believe it should. It's a bit hit and miss, I'm not gonna lie. The reason it's hit and miss is simply due to what happens. So I can't remember which box it is that works, not works, but will actually set the timers off. So I'm gonna hope it's this one. Let's assume, for a second, that you have a call that gets put in. That was so gonna happen. I saw it right there. This will send the signal, and hopefully, there we go. So we'll see, is it gonna do it? Yeah, it's not. Okay, I hate this so much. So again, this is just like chunk loading problems. We can see here the portal did light up. Did it actually say that it did? No. That's interesting. Oh no, wait, no it did, because station 3 was selected. Okay, I'm just blind. Cool. So you see, that did work. I'm gonna do something fun just while we do this. Okay, so you get to see a fun little visual here. So this is the simulation map, and it shows all of the loaded chunks around the area I've just selected. So I'm gonna reset this, and we'll see how this goes. So you can see the chunk loading there, and the central logic received it in about 1.7 seconds, so kind of cool. Okay, so what I want to show is, yeah, this should just work. I lost my box, which is slightly annoying, but it is in the end. So 1 second. You can see that none of the chunks are loaded, because obviously it's in the what's it called? Nether. But if I just go to the end really quick, I should pick up the necessary things that I needed. Okie dokie, so my inventory got, yeah, it's full of the wrong disk. Oh, delightful. Okay, so I'm gonna have to show you a different way than that. Yeah, that's fine. See the way the chunks loaded then? That is what causes this problem. This one should work. So I am gonna do this a really cringe way, but it's fine. I'm gonna put powdered snow, well, a few layers of powdered snow, because I really want to show you this chunk loading working. So if I just fly over to this corner, you'll see the chunk loader work. Obviously making sure that that chunk is still loaded. Is that taking longer than usual? There we go. So you can see, wait for it, there's the signal being sent. I love this map so much. But as you can see, station 2 was selected. So that went down here. And oh no, I know where it went. It went way over here to this one. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see, chunk loader starts here, and this is in a different district, so I need to explain this now. Let me turn that map off real quick. Coolio. Okay, so as I explained in my split portal video, the actual portals have a link range, so a portal will not link over there, a split portal won't. So I need what's called a district transfer, because I'm calling these districts. which is basically just a portal in the middle of them that will turn on. And then when an item gets sent here, it will reset this one, and then it will be sent way down here, all the way to here, which is the center of the district, and from there it can access any of the portals within the district. However, there is a really cool case actually of just by the way these portals work is, let's say this portal was our target portal, we go to the transfer, and instead of being sent there and then here, because this one is closer and it would already be lit, you would get sent directly to here. So hopefully that made some kind of sense. But yeah, this is all working as it happens. Again, it's very hit and miss when it wants to work. And so yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of testing, but we'll send that signal all the way back. There we go. It's very quick though, this entire thing. I'm very happy with it. So I have more to show you, believe it or not. There's more. Such things as our, obviously all of the things, but that's not important. Right, here we go. This is a 4x merging array. It is made by the person on screen, and it is very, very cool. I love it so much. However, it does have problems that I don't like. This was obviously done for compactness, but it's kind of cringe. Like, there's so many things that are cringe. Like, why is the piston here? The piston isn't needed. And, like, down here, there's another piston. Why? So I removed all of that. This is my version of it, which is slightly different and just doesn't have any of that, at the cost of being 2 blocks taller. So here's an exact rundown of all the differences I made, which is quite a few. So I removed all of these observers by just moving the wiring down there. All of the command blocks you see are simply just timing stuff. So you can see, here we go. And if I don't need to reset that actually. If I do this, you can see they are the same speed. So there we go. Now, the piston here was needed, when I said why is the piston needed, because, so this has a non-stackable in it, which as we can see would give a signal strength of 14. So that's why this clocks, and then this had a signal strength of 2. So what would happen is if this was a solid block, this would constantly be powered at signal strength 2, as we can see here. So it still clocks, like this still works, but this is signal strength 2. So to fix it, you'd have to do that, which for the use case, you can't do. The solution to this is so easy, it's stupid they didn't think of this. Just don't use an unstackable, and like this can be signal strength 2, but regardless, just don't use an unstackable, and it works. So yeah. The next thing was this abomination of an observer chain can be replaced with this. And no, this can't be a scaffolding because it needs to power something above it. This block here. So the other difference was, again, this observer chain here can just be this, which I think looks a lot cleaner regardless. Another one is this dispenser and observer got replaced with this. Again, just a disgusting observer chain replaced with this, which is actually in the front logic, which I don't know why I did, because I'm replacing all of that anyway, because I'm adding a temp into this. That's not good. Don't mind me. There. Here is my pair logic and the beginnings of a temp for my bulk. So this just finds pairs in a given group of boxes, and then outputs 2 boxes here to be sent to the mergers, or if there's only one, sends it into a toggle buffer. But this is still a work in progress, and to be honest, it needs a lot of work, so yeah, we don't need to worry about this. I am also just considering having separate temps for each of the halls in the bulk, because there's 4 of them and they can work at 4x speed when sorting anyway, so the temp would maybe be a bottleneck, but I don't know. This is all of the versions of the central logic, which is kind of funny because I need to add another one to that. Sir, you're not welcome. Next thing, here we go. So this is the chunk loading test. So this is a controlled one loaded by a ticking area, and as you can see, it's exactly 1 second long. We then have this one, which is separated by a single, every other chunk has a loader, which, keep in mind, these are loading a 7x7 chunk area around them. This should work, but it just doesn't. Look. It just never loads the end. I don't get why. So, you know, DNF. However, if it's every chunk, it does work. Sometimes it depends on the distance you're trying to go and a few other factors. But yeah, it works. So that is something I really need to look into. Then we have some logic over here for calling on the bulk, which again, this is probably all going to change because, well, I mean, first of all, none of these rails here are powered, which they really should be. So let me just remove those, because then it causes problems like this. And again, I don't know why I'm sorting this out. I really want to just show something, I suppose. Hang on. Whoopsie. So, this is really cool. It's heavily directional, but oh well. So if I just briefly, horribly power all of these, like that, that's disgusting. But if we send them enough ticks apart, I can, in theory, have loaded all of these carts and send them, I think this is like, is it 16 or 32 game ticks apart? I think it's 16, I don't remember. But yeah, all of these could be loaded in a single call and be sent on their merry way with no issues. So that's what that is. And I have 1 or 2 things left to show you. Okay, so for the way the dynamic bulk is going to work, I needed some very complicated front logic to essentially turn a which one would show it? That's a decoder. Yeah, so this is my binary serial encoder, which sends these out in a very specific order so that they can be read as hex codes. So because the way Hivven works is each of these codes is a disk, it needs to be sent in a very specific way, such that we can add 2 unnecessary bits to the front of each of these codes, just so that the hex reader is reading 3 hex codes and not 2. Because obviously this is an 8-bit code, so this would be read as 2 hex codes, and it's actually 3. Because you need one for which hall you're selecting, the section of said hall, and the slice of that section. So if I still have the logic, it is around here somewhere. And here it is. So this behemoth of a front logic to a hall, well, to a dynamic bulk, I suppose, handles a 1 tick per bit input of binary, decodes that into 8 game tick hex, and then that further gets decoded into the section, the hall, the section, and the slice. Now, this does need refinement because I believe an update recently broke it. So if I send this code, you'll notice something kind of goofy. Yeah, look at that, ooh, that's really not good. And I believe the issue is actually just with these decoders, the hex ones, because, like, it works, that is the correct thing for this. So if I was to do just really random code, I have no idea what I'm putting in. Let me make sure this is actually a viable code. Yes, it should be. So if I send this, you'll see that it will work. What? See, how does... Yes, yeah, okay, so this brings you on to a very good point. The thing that broke this is being proven here. So this is obviously clocking, which happens because of the way we reset this one. The memory here gets reset via this, which is a 2 redstone tick pulse, but like there is something to do with an update that broke this, because I tested it a bunch and it worked. So obviously if I just completely reset this now, which is a little easier to show, but like this, you can see it's flashing a signal strength. So again, if I just reset these, there we go, because that section is selected, 0, 0 is that. But if I just send this code while those are reset, you can see it will work. Any second now, there we go. It is there. So the issue is to do with these not being synced, and something about this reset logic just straight up doesn't work. So I'll do some figuring out to see what broke during that. But yeah, that's this, I suppose. It's kind of depressing that I'm showing something that doesn't work after, what, 2 months ago was the other one? And this was the first thing I started when I made that one. However, there is good news. I am thinking of completely removing all of this logic and going with just decoding hex, like having serial hex decoders on the front of these, and doing all of the binary to hex globally instead of in the front logic, because it's kind of cringe. So yeah, we'll see about that. I've also made an 8-game tick, not 8-game tick, a 8-bit encoder, but that's not really worth showing. I guess I'll throw a picture of it on screen. That might get replaced because I have an idea for a pipelinable one, which would be very quick. Probably not 8-game ticks, but we'll see. I didn't see the point in an 8-game tick encoder, to be completely honest with you, because you can't send the serial, at least for Hivven, like at all that quick. So yeah, we'll have to see with that and see where it goes. But I am getting places. That is what's important here. Anyway, I don't want to keep you any longer. This is a very long devlog, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.